Hi, my name's Abby, and this is my podcast called Better Out Than In, where I'm going to be talking about all of your issues, all of your concerns, worries, your lifestyle, relationships, and even my concerns, my worries, what's going on in my current life, and hopefully it will help you somehow. Or if it doesn't, well, I don't know, just get lost, do you know what I mean? I'm just here for it, alright? My DMs are always open. Please keep sending messages. And if you like it, please subscribe, please comment, please like it physically, and do it again. Just keep doing it. Keep subscribing, sharing. It means the world. And yeah. This is Abby's podcast. Hello. Hi. I've been sat here for a little while now, and I've just been procrastinating so much about doing this podcast. Just didn't know what to say and didn't know where to start. I've just been feeling so stressed and overwhelmed recently. This is one of my biggest things that I've noticed with myself too, is that whenever I feel a little bit overwhelmed or tired, like my mind just doesn't seem to function. Like my mind goes blank. I can't think about what it is that I'm actually thinking about because my mind is just constantly on a roll. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I was just like, you know what? The whole point of this podcast is because I wanted to help people, help myself, and just speak about what's on my mind or what's on your guys' mind. And hopefully by me sharing some of the things that are a bit more personal to me will help people that are in similar boats and not feel so alone. And if it's similar to any of you guys, then just know that you are not alone. I am the same or similar. I don't really know where to start. Like, I'm currently living in London, and I love it. I do love it. Nothing bad to say about this, really. Okay, the housing situation is not the best, but I'm very, very, very grateful, like very grateful to be in a flat that I feel safe in most of the time. I'm living with my bestest friend, basically just renting out 2 rooms in a shared accommodation, but it's just me and her there, and I'm really, really grateful for that. And yeah, I'm from Dorset, so I've used to live in London, and when I was 18 I moved up. I moved back down to Dorset, and then I moved away to where my parents are currently living, and this was literally about a year or so ago. So I moved up to London when I was 18, moved back after about 3 or so years, and then yeah, I've been back in London for about 6 months maybe. God, that's gone crazy fast. But I guess I'm just trying to think of where to start. I'm just finding things so hard at the moment. I'm just like, but in reality, when writing things down on a piece of paper, I should be thriving. I should be so happy and just living like I always thought I would be. But it's just not the case. And I guess it's just a reality of, I guess, re-emphasising that like what you see on social media and online is not always true. It's really, really not. Like, at the end of the day, posting things on socials, you always want to make it look good because you want to give out good, you know? You don't want to, I don't know, do a podcast that's all negative like I'm doing right now. I mean, you want to show off your achievements. You want to show off the fun that you're having, you know? It's very rare to see any downfalls on socials. But yeah, I've had loads of people say, you're doing so well, you're doing this, you're doing that. But I'm really struggling to actually accept any sort of, I guess, achievements that I've done, because they're not necessarily big achievements to me. But, I mean, to anyone else, they probably are quite big. I'm constantly putting pressure on myself to achieve things or setting myself goals that to a lot of people probably be achievable in a really short time. So if I'm not achieving them in that time frame, I'm really putting a downer on myself, or I'm stressing myself out, which is just causing me to constantly be in this vicious cycle with myself and stressed out and feeling low and exhausted, which is then resulting in all of the things that I really want to do and have fun with, i.e. making a podcast, because I really love doing things like this. I love talking, but I feel exhausted. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do, because I'm spending all of my other time putting so much pressure on myself and burning myself out. And it's exhausting. And yeah, just like feels like everything in every day, there's just constant hurdles, constant like, what's the word for it? Constant like, yeah, hurdles, challenges, like even little ones, like, I don't know, uploading something on your laptop, but then it doesn't want to upload. You've waited 5 hours for it to export, and then it doesn't export, which is just, it's a simple thing, but if that happens and then your whole day is then messed up, and then all of these time frames that you set for yourself is all out of the window as well. And I don't know, I find that really hard to cope with sometimes when I've got a lot of things going on, and then I don't sleep, and then that's a vicious circle, because when I don't sleep, I feel like I don't know, I'm just not me. I'm not me. I need like at least a solid like 8 hours. And then I see people out there that are doing similar things to me, and they're on like 3 hours sleep and they are fine. Well, they look fine anyway, but they are really, and I'm just like, I want to be like this. But then that's another thing, comparing myself all the time. It's just, I don't even realise I do it. I just did it then and I didn't realise. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. I'm just constantly in this bubble. And then I don't want to necessarily talk to the same friend about it every time, because I get sick of it. And like, I understand it. So it's like trying to find the right therapist, and that's stressful. And then you can't afford it. You have the money thing. Like, it's all of those. There's so many factors. But yeah, like me, like a year or two ago, I was working a 9-to-5 job, and I was struggling with a lot of things mentally and physically. A lot of like things weren't working in terms of my body, how I would like them to. I wasn't sleeping very well. I was constantly I felt like a rat race of going to work every day. And I have a habit of anything that I am committed to, whether that is work, friendships, family, events, relationships, I literally give my 100%. So I was working a job, and it meant a lot to me to go into work and just give my 100% all the time. If I didn't do that, as much as I wouldn't tell myself that I'd failed, it was like a constant like, oh, but I need to do better. And I got myself in a bit of a place. And this has happened quite frequently in my life, actually, in a lot of the jobs that I've been in. Pretty much all of the jobs that I've been in. Because I have that trait about myself. So I was in this job, and I was also in a relationship at the time. Again, another factor of my life that was just not right for me, because I kept going home every day thinking, I am burnt out. I'm so physically and mentally exhausted because I've put all of my energy into this job. And then I'm coming home. I have a boyfriend that, if I'm honest with you, I wasn't very happy either. And then so all of my energy was going to like just work and my boyfriend, work and my boyfriend, work and my boyfriend. And like I kept telling myself, but what am I actually doing for myself? And this has happened so much in my life. Like, what am I doing for myself? And ultimately I was literally doing nothing. I was trying, but then everything that I wanted to do for myself was, it was rushed or it was forced, and then it became a chore. You know, even whether that was doing my nails, because I love doing my nails. It was, oh, I need to get my nails done. So it'd be in the evening, just like trying to rushingly do it because I was so tired. I know I needed to sleep. And then I was causing myself even in the moments of doing things I should be enjoying, to feel overwhelmed and stressed, and then I couldn't sleep. It was a vicious cycle. And most people would argue, you have the weekends to focus on things you want to do, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't set myself to do it. I felt so unmotivated. So, yeah, I figured out that it just wasn't... I always knew that the jobs that I was going for were never for me. I was never pursuing a career that I wanted to do. And it was helping people, which I love doing. I was speaking to people that were out of work. I've been homeless and trying to help them in their next directions and this and that. But it just wasn't the right path for me. I've always wanted to help people, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. I've always been quite creative. I love singing. I love acting. I've literally always loved acting. I've always loved singing. And I just never pursued it. I've always wanted to do a podcast. I've never pursued it. Modelling, never thought I would ever model in my life. And I'd done my first shoot ever because someone reached out to me 3-4 years ago. Again, I loved it. And I just never put all of my energy into things that I loved as much as I should have. So I had a bit of a phase. Not even a phase, sorry. There was a period it must have been about 9 months ago. 9 months ago. And then I quit my job. I went and lived with my parents. And they have moved to the middle of nowhere. Love you, mum and dad. But I felt very isolated. Very, very isolated. But I needed to change up my life. And prior to quitting my job, I had broken up with my boyfriend. I've been single for almost 2 years now. So just try and put that into a time frame, I don't know. It's been almost 2 years, a year and a half, maybe. So yeah, but there was a period where I was working at a job, living in a flat. I was living in the flat with my boyfriend when we were broken up, because that was just the only feasible way that we could get by at the time. So it was difficult. Yeah, it was hard, but it happened and we got through it. I moved to my parents. Just needed to really sort myself out. I was in a really bad place. I hoped that me moving to my parents, I would finally channel all of the things that I really wanted to do in this time where I had all of this time for myself. But it just didn't happen. I couldn't motivate myself. I had no one around me. I felt so isolated. The opportunities were slim. And I just kept getting more and more and more into my thoughts and not actually doing. Because procrastinating, my friends, is my worst enemy. And it's just one of those things I seem to be doing too much. Even now. And there was just a switch that happened. I moved up to London with a suitcase about 5 months ago. I went and visited my friend. And then I basically moved up to London with a suitcase and didn't have a job. And then I found a job, and then I was jobless again because the job was quite shit. It was just a bar job, but it was just not... They didn't have the right morals, they did not respect the staff, but that's another story. So I left, and then I had to try and find somewhere to live. It was stressful. But I've somehow finally found my way, and it is scary. But even thinking about it now and speaking it through, I've come so far in the space of literally 5-6 months. But there's just always something going on in my head. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this time last year, I was in a completely different boat. I was still in, this job where I was... hating it. I was in a different flat, and then I moved to another flat, and then literally 5 months ago I've come back up to London and I had no job. I just thought, I had a feeling in my stomach that was I'm gonna make this work and it will work. And every single day I'm still telling myself that it's gonna work and it's gonna work, so I do believe that it will. But I just promised myself that this time round I'm doing this differently. I'm not going back to a 9-to-5 job. I'm not doing it. It's not for me. I've done it my whole life. And you know what? They're always going to be there. If anything happens, they're always going to be there. I can go back to that if I need to. But that's not an option for me right now. I need to just put myself out there. I need to be out of my comfort zone again so I can thrive. I need to be uncomfortable. I need to be brave and just think, fuck it. So that's what I've just been doing, and I'm telling myself every day just to keep doing that. And so now I am freelancing. So I'm doing so many things at once. I'm writing blogs for somewhere. I am finally pursuing modelling and acting. I've just started doing again as well. I can say again, I've never actually done it before, but I've always wanted to. But it's scary. I'm doing all of these things. And there's just a lot going on at once. And there's so much that I want for myself. And I'm just, again, this pressure that I just keep feeling is coming and coming and coming. And yeah, I'm suddenly falling into a bit of a trap again where I'm like, I'm finding it hard to sleep. I'm getting overwhelmed. And it's a pattern that keeps coming back because I'm realising that I'm not letting myself enjoy things because I'm constantly, I guess, scared. Not even scared, but I just want so much for myself. So this constant expectation to do well is there, which is straining my ability to think about anything else or let loose a little bit. For example, my friend has messaged me saying, so are you still up for Saturday night? And my heart started pounding. This was literally last night. And I just got back from a shoot that I was really nervous about the whole week. And I promised myself I'd get home from this shoot, give myself a pat on the back and just be so relieved and proud of myself and just chill out, it's done. Because the whole build up to this week, it was just like, oh my God, I need to do this. And then when it came to actually delivering, because I was so overwhelmed with all of this thought process and expectation again, like when it came to the shoot, I felt like my mind went blank and I couldn't fluidly give my performance how I wanted to because I was just burnt out. As I was saying, I got home, I had a shower, I made some dinner, and then I just sat on the sofa. I was watching TV as you do, and my friend texted me saying, "You still up for Saturday?" And my heart just started racing. I'm thinking, oh no, I've said that I would go out for some dinner with my friend on Saturday. And I did remember about it in the back of my mind, but I was like, right, let's just not think about it right now. Let's just try and not think about anything. Try and just live in the moment, be present with yourself. But I started worrying, so I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got work in the day on Saturday. After work, I'm going out. And then I've got work again on Sunday. I've got to film a podcast. I've got to edit a podcast. I've also got 2 more jobs come through for next week. And I've got to do this writing for a blog. And I've got to apply. And I'm like, wow, like there's so much going on. And even if I write it all down in my diary and plot out time, things don't go to plan, you know? And it's just hard because I should be realistically so happy. Like, I am really happy that I should be... When I say happy, it's probably the wrong word. I should feel so free right now. I'm working for myself. I'm doing things, finally, working towards things that I've never done before in my entire life. I've always just done the thing of working a job because I needed to pay the bills and, you know, look forward to the weekend because it was a weekend and I wasn't working. I was in a relationship. Lovely. But I wasn't getting anywhere. For me, I wasn't satisfying my inner wants and loves and passions. I'm like constantly just giving myself this pressure and I'm so aware of it, you know, which just makes it even more frustrating because I know that I'm doing this to myself, but it's a constant battle. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling. And I'm trying to find that off switch all the time. And I'll think to myself, I try to meditate, I focus on breath work, but it's just hard. And especially coming into the darker months as well, feels like the days are so much shorter. But I guess I just think, like, if anyone else is feeling the same, you're not alone. Like, you're literally not alone. And things will get better. Like, I'm sat here and I'm doing this now, for example. Even, like, doing this podcast, I was thinking, if I don't put it out once a week, oh no, it's gonna fall through. And actually, like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I'm doing it. And I feel good for it. I do feel good for it. And it's nice to talk. Of course, it's good to be consistent. Of course, it's good to make good habits in your lifestyle and this and that. But things come with time. So I just want to remind you all that even when you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, low, or you feel like things are just getting on top of you and you shouldn't be feeling this way, why are you feeling this way? Just take a step back and remind yourself that you are allowed to be feeling those things, but also remember that it doesn't actually matter. Nothing actually matters. If I turn down a job, it doesn't actually matter. There'll be more jobs that come up. If I fuck up on a line that I've done for a commercial, it's fine. Just redo it. And if I can't redo it, if I fuck up again, fine. It's okay. It's a learning process. It doesn't actually matter. It really doesn't. The fact is that we have a heartbeat, we are breathing, we are healthy. I think I'm just tired, which is stupid because I feel like half the time all I'm doing is wanting to sleep and hibernate. But I've then started questioning myself. All of this time that I'm resting and hibernating or sleeping, or not sleeping because I'm not, am I actually resting? Am I actually resting if I am, okay, I've just got the day, I've got no plans, I'm sat on the sofa, but I am thinking. Because realistically, okay, you're physically not moving, but you're thinking, right? So you're not giving your mind a rest. And your mind works just like your body does, constant. So I think that's why I'm tired. Because although I'm resting, I'm not actually allowing myself to rest. Like, fully give myself permission to just do shit all. Whether that is going for a walk and putting on a podcast, or, I don't know, singing in my room. It's not wasted time if I'm actually enjoying it. The waste of time is telling yourself that you're resting and not actually letting yourself rest. Because you're just burning yourself out more emotionally. And this is definitely something I need to work on. Any tips for that, please let me know. But yeah, I'm working on it. For a lot of people that are in similar boats, whether they are, I don't know, they've got children and a job and they're burning themselves out. They are trying to pursue projects that they've had in the pipeline and they're finally doing anything. It could be anything. I guess it's just a reminder to just be, or try to be more present. It's easier said than done, and I'm working on it myself. And just tell yourself it doesn't fucking matter. It literally doesn't matter. Don't feel bad if you haven't gone to the gym. You didn't go to the gym because there was a reason. You don't want to go. Cool. Gym's going to be there tomorrow. You're not going to put on weight overnight. You're not going to lose weight overnight. It's fine. Like, it literally doesn't matter. And stop fucking comparing yourself, because half the time, like, I'm putting pressure on, or people putting pressure on themselves because they think that they should be doing it a certain way or in a certain time because they've seen someone else is doing it. Or in my situation, I see people that I've met and they are constantly working, and they're doing so well, and I'm so happy for them. And I'm like, I want that too. But it's not going to happen for me if I'm coming from a place of hate and like putting myself through this without enjoying it, because I don't want to do it if I'm not going to have fun with it. I don't want to do it if I'm not feeling good in that moment. I want to do it because I love it, because I feel good doing it. So, yeah, just remind yourself that you are your only timeline and you are the only person putting actual pressure on yourself, because even if your mum and your dad are saying you should be doing this and doing that, it's not actually affecting them. If, I don't know, you've got a tutor that's saying you need to do it this way, no you don't. You can do it whatever way you want to do. Nothing's going to happen to them if you do or not. It is your life. This is your life and you need to do it the way you want to do it. If you can't upload your next podcast in the time frame that you wanted to, that's fine. Do it when you can, and I guarantee if you do it in your time frame and when you want to do it, it'll be better anyway. It will come out more how you want it to come out. And it will be worth it. And you'll be putting yourself first and you'll be feeling better and everything will just result in a better outcome. And another thing, get off your phone, because half of the time, I don't know about you, but I am just scrolling through my emails. Anything else come through? Ooh, has anyone messaged me? And I'm like, do you know what? Half the time, that's what triggers me to feel anxious. That's what I have to say. But yeah, there was a bit of a ramble, a little bit different. But I want to mix it up. I want to be real. And I just want people to know that if they are feeling the same, then you are not alone. And it's good to just speak and openly speak. You know, there's no judgment. Just, you know, we're all human. We are all human. Nothing's perfect. No one's perfect. But just be grateful for where you are and be proud of yourself, because fuck, you've gone through a lot. I've gone through a lot. Like, this is nothing in comparison to a lot of the things I've gone through. And I'm thinking, fuck, saying this out loud just gives me clarity and it does make me feel more proud of myself. And you know what? Fuck it. Like I said earlier, nothing actually matters. Nothing matters other than your own health and happiness. So put that first. Get off your phone, put your happiness first, stop comparing yourself to others, and just have fun. That's all I had to say today, folks. Thank you for listening. Again, ramble is over. If you've got anything on your mind, if you're going through anything similar, please let me know. Anything else you want to talk about, again, let me know. And yeah, my DMs are always open. So have a lovely evening. Enjoy whatever you have planned. And I will see you in the next episode. Keep being kind, keep being weird, and love always. Mwah.